Hey guys, what's going on? Inception here, and welcome to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a new 3-5-2 tactic to review today. It's going to be from Viperalization again. Guys, listen, I have reviewed this guy's tactics like 2 times in a row already, right? For the 4-2-3-1, and there was another one too, the 4-3-2-1, okay? When I tell you guys that the link is in the bio, please go to the original video, like the video, blah, blah, blah. The point of us doing these reviews is to kind of mainstream the tactics a little bit more and show you guys some other people that are very good at this stuff, okay? Viperalization's tactics 100% should get more views because I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I haven't disliked or, you know, haven't felt that one of his tactics just wasn't for me. There's no wasn't for me when it comes to his tactics. They just work, okay? Because it is a combination of meta but also fun in this game, which is great. Now, the thing about this tactic, guys, is that it was a month ago that he made this tactic, right? But it still works out really well for this game, depending on the situation. Now, yes, you could definitely play this formation the entire game if you want to, because it offers you a combination of a narrow buildup as well as a side buildup, okay? And that's going to be very, very important when using formations like this, because in FIFA, I don't know, he has like a 4-1-2-2. I think he even has like a 4-3-3. I might give those a shot at some point, but as you guys know, I don't often play on my main accounts that much because it's not really like the main content on my channel unless it's for the tactic stuff, because with the tactic stuff you gotta play in the top tier divisions to kind of be able to actually put out some solid videos for it, right? But with this tactic, guys, from Viperalization, like I said, be sure to check out his video. It's his, like the video. Be sure to let him know we sent you, or I sent you guys to him, blah, 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 okay? Because this guy, he's smart, okay? Definitely deserves more of an audience for those videos, okay? So listen, with the 3-5-2, right? The tactics that we are going to be working with is going to look like this. You can see I'm still using his 4-3-2-1 depending on the situation of the game. 4-2-3-1 from the last video that we did, and then we have a pressure on heavy touch one with forward runs, just in case I need that depending on the situation of the game, right? So 3-5-2, right? So the 3-5-2 is set up on balanced, 50 for width, depth on a 55, balance for build-up, balance for chance creation, 65 for width, and then players in the box is set to 7. Okay, so the reason why all of this works out so well, right, is that making the team wider is actually super ideal because you have the 2 strikers, you have the cam, but you also have your CDM, who's actually going to be somewhat attacking oriented if you have a really well-balanced player there. In this case, we have Renato Sanchez's gold card. Honestly, Renato Sanchez's gold card is awesome, but there are better options nowadays, right? Like, let's just say, for instance, because I even think he had this in his video, if you had like a Kevin De Bruyne card, right, for a formation like this, that extra attacking presence is amazing to work with, right? I've used the rare gold De Bruyne this year. I never actually ended up trying out the signature signings one because it was like 1,000,000 coins and I didn't have it at that time for the review account. But I have a feeling that that card was absolutely incredible as well, because the type of playstyle that De Bruyne offers you in the team, depending on the playstyle that you're using for your formation and tactic, is attacking and defending, right? But really good at attacking. His AI attacking wise, guys, is phenomenal to work with. He just gets into the right positions at the right time, right? So again, in this case, we're using Renato Sanchez as that guy, but then we have Verratti as the CDM. So like I told you guys in the SBC review for Verratti, okay, the things that you have to work with, right, is manual sprint speed, which you will use sometimes, especially for an aggressive formation like 3-5-2. And you'll also notice the height when it comes to interceptions and stuff, right? Sometimes it's better to have a player like that Player of the Month Fofana card because he offers those meta characteristics like we mentioned in the review, right? He's a tall player, high work rates, you know, a track back is good, attacking is good, right? More of the defensive side because defensively he's a very solid card, right? Tall player, very strong. But with Verratti, in this case, we have a medium high work rated player. I feel like with Verratti, he plays better in like a 4-2-3-1 system, a 4-4-2 system. When it's a 3-5-2, I feel like you need those tall guys, man. I feel like you need those guys that push forward, come back really nicely. It's definitely very ideal to work with, but still a very good card in the CDM position. I don't mind him. I just wish it was a little bit taller, right? But Still did the card, obviously the PSG links, very convenient for the review or for the main account whenever I do hop on. Trust me, my team would be very different if I played more on this account. I just don't, right? Maybe at some point we will. We'll see what the vibes are, man. But Yeah, so the way that you want to line up your team, guys, right, is ideally, right? Ideally, you want to have a player who is a good attacking and defensive oriented player playing in the left mid and right mid position, right? So I was actually trying out the signature signings Atal card. I'll just let you guys know right now, that card we didn't review, but that card does not touch this Hakimi card, okay? Hakimi is significantly better than that Atal card, defensively and even attacking wise, right? And I think with Hakimi, it's pretty obvious why. I mean, he has a 4-star weak foot, 5'11". I mean, look at his pace, look at his defense, look at his dribbling with his body type itself. Everything just works out really well. It's a combination of everything, right? So for me personally, I like the Hakimi card more. Maybe people will like the Atal card more. I just think that Hakimi is yet another card that has that it factor, right? And you guys will notice it from the goal highlights why I'm saying this, okay? That body type and that dribbling that he has to open up the space for others, to work with the 4-star weak foot, beautiful, okay? So Hakimi is one of the guys, right? In this team, it's not perfectly balanced for it because of the striker and the left mid, but it is what I have to work with because obviously, depending on the situation of your club, you work with whatever you have, right? But ideally, like I said, you want to have an attacking and defensive oriented player in the side positions. If you cannot do that, you want to have at least a high work rated player in that side area as well, so that by default they will attack and defend just as much, but it is nice to have the defensive stats. I have tried Atal in that left mid area for the 3-5-2, and I'm gonna be honest, I felt like he didn't really do much in that area. You know why? Because I feel like for this year's game, strong foot on the strong side is super important, right? So let's just say, for instance, if I had a team where I had the Alphonso Davies card linked with a Pumacano, and then I put Kimpembe over there on that right side, and I get those French links and whatnot, Alphonso Davies would be an absolutely brilliant card to use in that left mid area. Not the rare gold, because the rare gold I'm not crazy about, but that rule breakers card is disgusting, okay? And that card is super versatile too. You can use them in different ways, which is fantastic, but that's a card that's super ideal to have in that left mid position, right? A team like this is good because I can rotate to whatever formation I want, but still have a balance that's decent enough. For the 3-5-2, I would say that this team is at like a 75 or 80% capacity because of some players playing in certain positions, right? So, like I was saying, for the 3-5-2, you can see that this is how my team is lined up. You guys know that in the review, I tried out the Gelson Martins card on a Deadeye chemistry style, playing in the striker position, and he played it perfectly fine, right? I think that Fekir is an absolutely incredible cam in this game. Secondary striker, he plays that position really well too. So the combination play of working with Gelson Martins' high work rates, being a super fast player by default, but sometimes dropping back and pushing forward, it works well with the other players for the way that this team is formatted, right? But you could see that I have Bamba on the left side because he's the guy that's going to attack and defend for me, right? I'm trying him over the Carrasco card, right? But like I said, in this review, you guys are going to see a couple games where I'm actually using Atal there, right? But yeah, Fekir is the cam, and then the two strikers are the way that they are. Instructions for the team. Instructions is balanced for the center backs. Both of the CDMs is going to be like this, okay? Your more defensive oriented player, you're going to keep him on stay back while attacking, cover center. But your other midfielder, that is going to be a balance of attacking and defending. Like I said, that's why someone like a Kevin De Bruyne is really nice to have in this position particularly, because Renato Sanchez is not a similar player to KDB. They're very different players, right? KDB would definitely offer that presence I would need for that 3-5-2. But in this team, it's cover center, aggressive interceptions. It creates a very good balance within the middle of the pitch, but because of that aggressive interceptions, that's where I want the extra height to work with on the CDM, because then Verratti's kind of like the lone guy when it comes to defending, so the manual sprint speed will sometimes affect him with the height as well, right? Because of the manual defending you have to do a lot of the times through the middle. The left mids and right mids are on comeback and defense and stay wide, which is perfect because, again, you want to have an attacking and defensive oriented player playing in those positions. The cam and the two strikers are on stay forward, conservative interceptions. Because this is a 3-5-2 formation, and because you're committing a lot on the attack because of the amount of players that you have in your team, especially if they have certain attacking AI like Fekir and Benzema, it's fantastic to work with. A lot of the times from the counter, right, you're going to be in a very good position with your 3 initial attacking players up there, where all you have to do is press L1 and do a lob pass, and you'll actually be through on goal a lot of the times. I try not to do that as much as possible because it's a very cheesy like mechanic of playing this game, to be honest. It's like, I don't really consider it skill based. Just do one pass and then boom, you score. Like, you guys know me, I never considered it that way. So I like to build up the play as much as possible, right? But it is something that you can do if you want to use the formation like so. So with the 3-5-2, guys, I'm going to show you guys some highlights of me using this team. Again, all of the highlights you're going to see from the goals that we scored is going to be from the 3-5-2. The one thing I'm going to mention before we actually review the goals, guys, is that in a formation like this, guys, what you're going to notice the most, if you do not have proper left mids and right mids, right, is that your defensive capabilities in those side positions will be vulnerable sometimes, okay? Even if I'm using Hakimi in that area, even if I'm using Alphonso Davies in that area, it's still a card that's going to attack and defend, right? If they're on comeback and defense, they do come back, obviously, but it's just such an easy through ball most of the times for these guys, because the through balls and the lob passes in the recent patch has been more of a prevalent thing, right? So you do have to be careful about that when using the 3-5-2. You're actually going to see a situation of one of the games that I was playing, so I played 3 games, right? 2 of the last games were awful gameplay, but we compensate well enough for it. You're going to see me losing 2-1 at some point, and then I switch to the 3-5-2, and you'll see why it works out so well depending on the situation of the game and depending on how your opponent is going to line up with the certain players that you have in your team, right? So yeah, that being said, we're going to go ahead and check out some of the highlights, and we're going to talk through why I decided to do certain things given the situation of the game and the gameplay. Okay, so right off the bat, you guys are going to see here defensively Hakimi tracking back into that right back or right mid area to actually get the ball. Fantastic stuff by him. Benzema. Here's the thing, man. This is why it's so important that we do the reviews and then we actually understand the base characteristics of each card. Benzema's attacking AI and Fekir's attacking AI, they just get into the right positions at the right time. A lot of the times, Benzema will be really, really well positioned, where all I genuinely have to do is make one driven pass to him, don't touch the left stick, and then just do small little dribbles just to open up the space for myself. It's fantastic. That's a very good example right there of Hakimi committing on the attack in the side positions to score the opportunity, right? He's being super aggressive. We aim the pass towards him. We score the opportunity. You guys can see in this little breakdown right here, this is FIFA mechanics in a nutshell, especially when it's not up to par, doing the shot cancels, all that kind of stuff. In that situation, okay, my brain is compensating way too much for how the gameplay feels. And this is not an excuse because I see these plays happening, okay? My brain is compensating too much for how the gameplay feels. So I'm very focused on compensating for the dribbling, compensating for the shot cancels that I'm going for. So what did I not do there? I didn't make that one pass to Gelson where I could have just done a driven and I could have scored the opportunity immediately. Always look for the extra man, guys. When you're playing in a 2-striker formation, if you go for shot cancels, you go for small little dribbles, the secondary striker, if their attacking AI is responsive enough, will open up the pitch for you, and all you have to do is just take one shot. Over here, we commit some dribbles with the Kimi, we push him forward. This is where I was losing 2-1 and I switched to the 3-5-2 and we create a lot of space. So here's the situation here with Verratti, right? I get the ball to Gelson. Gelson's a little bit more dropped back. Look at Fekir playing in the cam position with his aggressive attacking AI, pushing forward and scoring and passing the ball off to Benzema for us to score that opportunity. That's why the types of players that you have in your team are going to be very, very important, okay? Because it just creates that balance on the pitch for the types of opportunities that you want for you to score a large majority of your opportunities. So it's just kind of how FIFA works, man. The types of players that you have is going to be important. Honestly, for my RTG accounts, guys, if I didn't have Fekir and Benzema, I don't even know if I could play properly because I'm an attacking AI merchant, and this year I feel like it's completely different. Like, honestly, drafts, I can't play drafts anymore because I've disconnected literally 4 times from my main account. I literally have the recordings for it. I'm not even joking. It's disgusting. But even still, guys, even if I can play drafts, the most important thing, okay, that I have to get for my teams is a striker that's a good high medium work rate player or a good high low work rate player. If I personally do not have that, I can't operate. I'm telling you, with FIFA nowadays, these guys just don't move in certain ways. It almost feels like you're not even playing. Like, you have to force the instructions out of the card. If I have to force the instructions out of the card, they don't make very good natural runs, which is why I don't like giving it to them most of the times. in this case, even in the 4-2-3-1, if I know your base attacking AI is good, but then I give you like a stay central instruction, it doesn't matter because I know you have that base attacking AI, right? So it's just something to take into consideration if you guys end up getting certain players for your team for this formation to work. But I definitely recommend this 3-5-2. Again, Viperialization is a beast. It's another formation that works out really, really well. I've been playing a lot of games in it with the gameplay objectives as well, and honestly, even with the really awful players, it just moves across the pitch really nicely. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy this video today. I'm gonna see what the content is tomorrow, guys, because if there's not a lot of content tomorrow, we're probably gonna be doing a lot of fodder content before the Friday release. So yeah, because Friday's gonna be very, very busy. I actually might do 2 SBCs for the reviews, so because it might be like a combination of skill moves versus weak foot, and I'd rather just get both of the reviews out for you guys if I can, because I can actually do that. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace out, dudes. Be sure to check out Viperialization's video, okay? Please.